So, lads, I mean this when I say this. I want all the Stephanie White apologists to come out. Because it's very, very clear that Stephanie White is not the right coach for Caitlin Clark. I don't mean this when I say this. I don't think Stephanie White's a bad coach. In fact, I think Stephanie White's a really good coach. The fact that she was able to pull off a Commissioner's Cup win with the roster that they had, she is a great coach. We are not going to slander Stephanie White's ability to coach right here, but we are going to question Stephanie White's ability to specifically coach Caitlin Clark.
What if the top women's basketball shooter was instructed not to fire while burning? Yes, Caitlin Clark just revealed that her own coach is preventing her from reaching her full potential. Is this sabotage or a strategy? The fans are incensed. Experts are perplexed. And it's all in Caitlin's face. This makes no logic. Therefore, you won't believe why it's occurring. This is more than simply poor coaching, so fasten your seatbelt. It might be far more serious.
Well, the cat is out the bag, man. Now, I told y'all, I was one of the first people to let it be known. Head coach Stephanie White is so against Caitlin Clark. It's clear as day, and it's very much clear as day that this front office dropped the ball in hiring her to be Caitlin Clark coach. I'm telling you right now, Stephanie White do not want Caitlin Clark to shoot the ball. It's clear as day. She want to run this motion offense, and quite frankly, Caitlin either need to get the hell out of Indy or the front office need to make it their business to hire a new coach, man.
That's just what everyone was afraid about. Drive the speed limit and maybe just park it for a bit is the worst possible situation when Caitlin Clark, the most explosive scorer in women's college basketball history, is given the keys to the team. Behind a minivan with a flat tire, the Fever dragged a Ferrari into the garage. This is not what we signed up for. The game manager, Caitlin Clark, had no viewers. They came to emphasize actual lunacy, deep threes, and logo launches, not the occasional courtesy jumper or dribble handoff.
Let's take a listen to this. This is, by the way, during the New York Liberty game. This is during the New York Liberty game. During the Liberty game. Let's take a listen. Not during, about the Liberty game. This is the game where Caitlin Clark hit five threes in the first half. This is the game where Caitlin was on like an all-time heater, and then randomly she just stopped shooting. Like, that is the thing. That is the thing that happened. She randomly just stopped shooting while she was on an all-time heater. She was on an all-time heater and she just randomly stopped shooting.
The irony is that Caitlin isn't playing poorly. With a system she's been duct-taped into, she's doing what she can. What do you expect, then, when the offensive playbook appears more like a Sudoku problem than a strategy? While the main meal waits for a reset pass in the corner, this squad managed to turn the all-time NCAA scoring and assist queen into a side dish.
So I had a film breakdown prepared today, but I'm actually going to go a different direction. This is a rant because we have to talk about the state of this Indiana Fever team, and I'm here to bring the reality to all you Fever fans. This team is not a championship team. They're not a championship team. They're nowhere near close to a championship team because every team that is a championship team can play defense. This Indiana Fever team has no defense, and that's like the farthest of their problems. Their offense looked really bad today, and Caitlin Clark obviously didn't shoot the basketball well, but I'm not going to blame this loss on Caitlin Clark, even though obviously they would have won if she would have shot the ball well. My whole thing is, you were up when Caitlin Clark wasn't shooting the ball well. You had a double-digit lead in that first half while Caitlin Clark was clanking every single three. She was too.
Caitlin Clark wasn't only drafted by the Fever. They drafted a movement. Millions of admirers, crowded venues, and a media hysteria that tweets, eats, and sleeps everything she does are all results of their efforts. Nevertheless, it appears that the one individual who is not entirely on board this hype train is her own coach. That is a storyline twist that nobody anticipated.
Caitlin Clark, man. Now, Caitlin Clark went on Superb Podcast and dropped major gems, bro. She let it be known that Stephanie White do not want her to shoot threes. Yes, this is not clickbait. Oh, my goodness, guys. Check this out.
So professionally, like that Liberty game, I feel like as a shooter, like when you see like 2 or 3 go in, especially like for me, like if I have 2 back to back in a row, like I'm probably gonna launch a third that maybe isn't advised by Steph, but like I gotta get it up. And then if the third goes in, like you're just hot. I think as a shooter, like your confidence just builds and builds and builds. It's just coming off your hand.
The shooters shoot. The universal law is that it goes beyond basketball. It's life. And you don't urge the shooter to turn it down when she's Caitlin freaking Clark. You don't request her assistance. She isn't parked like a glorified decoy in the corner. Even her poor shots have a greater chance than some players' layups, so you let her cook. However, the whistle in the clipboard appears as if someone detected flames and contacted the fire brigade right after she catches fire. The worst part is still to come. It's not just Caitlin that suffers from this. Everyone suffers as a result. Supporters don't want to witness a neutered offense in which potential sparks are extinguished before they can flare. Fire is what they desire. They want her to dominate games, ignore defenders, and launch herself from 30 feet as if gravity didn't exist. People started talking because of that. Arenas sold out because of it. That's the fun part. Instead, it appears as though someone is attempting to win 54-52 in a league that has advanced past the Stone Age. You may have defensive guru tendencies. The grind can be enjoyable. You may imagine suffocating shifts and 20-second possessions. It's a concern, though, if your defensive attitude begins to permeate your offensive personality. Additionally, the coaching staff of the Fever seems to be defending themselves against their own star at the moment, as though they are attempting to contain Caitlin because she poses a threat.
Make a decision. Y'all want to keep making all this damn money off me, or do y'all can make money off her being a coach? Pick one. Pick one. What are we doing here? This was trash. We got popped. We got smoked by the Valkyries. Smoked. We down 20 at home. We down a dub at home. This front office is a joke. I don't know how they even let Timmy Fagbenle walk away. We didn't protect her. Bro, this front office is a joke. This coach is even more of a joke. A pure clown is what this coach is.
The reasoning is perplexing. The largest offensive weapon in years is what you bring in. And you ask her to fit into a system that was created for whoever exactly, rather than creating an offensive around her skill set? Nobody is aware. For this system doesn't shout modern basketball. It shouts warning. It shouts terror. Then, rather than saying, let's go win by 20 and destroying the internet, let's just keep it close. What's really stranger is that each time she begins to heat up, she is benched or the plays are redirected every time she makes a few quick threes or begins to dictate the tempo. It is similar to clockwork. After giving her the all clear, you take a step back. You don't attempt to change her into a more secure or system-friendly person. You give her the freedom to perform her best. Shoot, score, energize, and win. Furthermore, it is absurd to think that she must grow up inside this framework. She is already mature. A project wasn't necessary for her. From day one, she was plug and play.
Why not? Stephanie White, why not? It always works. Two defenders are always going to go with Caitlin Clark. There should never be a play where Caitlin Clark brings the ball up the court and then she passes it and she runs off the playoff ball. Every single possession, there should be a screen, whether it be a Leah Boston, whether it be a Kelsey Mitchell who's going to cut, whether it be a Natasha Howard, literally any player. They set Caitlin Clark a screen at the top of the key, and off that, your whole offense should function. I don't care what Stephanie White wants to do with this motion offense thing. Literally, all you have to do every single time you have a practice is worry about what to do after the double team.
However, she's being treated like a prototype, as if we are in the first year of a 4-year reconstruction, and she must gradually get the right to shoot. In the meantime, players are out there taking open shots, as if they were trying out for a remodeling job. However, Caitlin must earn it. She must yield. Potential wasn't evident to Fever fans. They came to watch the production. Additionally, every game in which she is held back is a mischance. The crowd is waiting for fireworks on another night, but instead they get a little drizzle. And it has nothing to do with Caitlin's lack of ability. The reason behind this is that she's playing checkers instead of chess. Someone will have to do it eventually. Say it. On defense, this coach might be outstanding. There are many processes, no tangible outcome, and someone is constantly left perplexed. It's like attempting to dig a hole with a rocket launcher. Technically speaking, you could, but you're not using it properly and are likely to goof up. That rocket launcher is Caitlin. You point her toward the edge and let it tear. Before you make a disputed mid-range shot that nobody wants to witness, stop asking her to pass 7 times.
Saying this late last year in November when the Indiana Fever hired Stephanie White. I never thought I'd be saying this right now, only 19 games into the 2025 season, that it's time for Stephanie White to go. The Indiana Fever needs to fire Stephanie White. This is not going to work. What we're seeing is not going to work. It's just not going to work.
Already, the fans can see right through it. Not every video that becomes popular is a well-executed half-court set. Caitlin is acting irrationally, arriving from a distance, and doing something crazy that shouldn't work but always does. People come here for that. They care because of this. Not for sluggish, safe, or predictable rotations that boost everyone's self-esteem but undermine your real opportunities. The excuses are mounting like unpaid bills, and we are witnessing a generational player being bound by a 2003 playbook. Before they tell her to play center, how long will it be? Or perhaps completely stop shooting and concentrate on inbound passes. As part of her growth arc, she might be placed on towel duty the next week. The ridiculousness is self-evident. Meanwhile, other teams are salivating as they watch this catastrophe play out and imagine what they could accomplish if Caitlin were on their side with a coach who genuinely wanted to score goals and who is aware of their situation. Because play calling is no longer the focus of this. It has to do with identity. It concerns a player who is destined to be a star and a coach who is designed to stop them. Building a wall and then wondering why the sun isn't shining isn't possible. Brilliance cannot be shackled and then criticized for lacking radiance.
Hi, I'm Stephanie White, head coach of the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark, and I'm a complete clown. I'm a clown. That is what I am as a head coach. I am a clown. I am ruining Caitlin Clark. I have no idea what I'm doing as a coach. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've been sent here on a mission to ruin Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. And I think I'm doing a masterful job because I suck. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I actually have no idea how I got this job in the first place. I don't know how I got this job in the first place. I am a clown.
Allow Caitlin to be herself. That's all. The tweet is that. The banner is that. The chant is that. Because what was the use of her game if she would not be permitted to play it? Run your set pieces, sign a role player, draft someone else, and accept mediocrity. However, if you want to unleash the storm, let her lead, let her thunder, and let her shoot. Because up until that point, every game is like listening to Picasso paint by numbers. Although the brushwork is neat, where is the masterpiece? Like an obstinate architect with drawings that don't suit the structure, a great coach doesn't enter the locker room. She is not a component that can be replaced, so you build a system around her. Just sitting there, humming, is the nuclear core of an offensive. If someone dares to color beyond the lines, they are benched. This isn't high school JV, when everyone knows the same 3 plays. This is the WNBA. To win is the main goal. Finding what works and sticking with it until the wheels fall off is the key to winning. The wheels aren't only on right now. They twirl like a TikTok fad and are bespoke chrome with LED lights.
So Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever fans are having a meltdown about they god Stephanie White that they wanted so bad, man. So I've been seeing the takes, man. So now they want Caitlin Clark to demand a trade, or they want the front office to pick between Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White, man. I'm not gonna say I tried to tell y'all, man, but it's just like, I was trying to tell y'all, man, like, Stephanie White is not this god that y'all was making her out to be, man. You know, Christy, like, I'm not even here to...
And every time it accelerates, someone slams the brakes rather than letting it roll. The best coaches in history don't idolize systems. They are whispers of players. They don't arrive with everything prefigured out. They pay attention. They observe. They adjust. Do you believe that Michael Jordan was instructed to be a team player by Phil Jackson, who arrived in Chicago sporting a tattoo of the triangle offense? No. He provided MJ with a structure for the Fever to blow out. They say, let's see if we can mold her into a pass-first floor general who averages 8 points a game and makes everyone else look good. No one showed up for it, spoiler alert. The tragedy here is that the answer is very obvious. Give her a chance to shoot. Permit her to run. Allow her to reveal the game. It works not because it's ostentatious. This is not an addiction to highlight reels. Efficiency is the problem. You have the highest chance of winning if you do Caitlin Clark things. The team always looks more vibrant when she is given permission to deviate from the plan and simply play basketball. The ball accelerates. The distance gets better. The defenders get into a frenzy. The fans stand up. The scoreboard changes positions. The team as a whole seems to level up the instant you let her loose.
Stephanie White yesterday reduced Caitlin Clark to a role player. She turned a star into a role player like we've never seen before. While Tyler Marsh is trying to turn Angel Reese into a star, Stephanie White is trying to turn Caitlin Clark into a role player. Let that sink in.
The system is then restarted after a timeout. With excellent teaching, you don't see that kind of behavior. Squeezing everyone into the same mold is not the definition of great coaching. It entails knowing your opponent and devising a plan that capitalizes on their strengths. And if that means throwing your old playbook into a bonfire, then go ahead and get the matches. We are currently seeing a conceptual misalignment. The system wasn't designed to support a player like Caitlin, which is the issue. Additionally, they are removing portions of her game rather than the system altogether. Because history books don't recall the systems, that's the kind of coaching that gets you on ESPN's What Not to Do segments. The players who broke them are remembered. The game was redefined by them. One of such players is Caitlin. It would be like attempting to Photoshop a wildfire to try to fit her into a tight game plan. I wish you luck. The fire will continue to burn, and all you will do is aggravate yourself.
You gotta get the hell up out of here, bro. Pack your shit. Pack your shit, bro. No, I'm not even playing that game, bro. No, I'm not doing that. Pack your bags right now. Stephanie White gotta go. You gotta go. You are a clown of a coach, a pure clown of a coach, bro. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? You got the best point guard in the world, and you have her playing small forward. You got her playing small forward, bro. What are we talking about here? This is like Mike D'Antoni having this 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns and saying, hey, Steve Nash, go stand in a corner. We want Quentin Richardson to bring the ball up. Man, get out of here, man. This is trash.
The problem is that there are multiple players involved. It concerns the whole culture in which she lives. Encouraging your superstar has a ripple effect on the squad. That energy is what they eat. They play more freely, looser, and faster. However, that attitude spreads if the main message is to not do too much. Everyone is hesitant now. Everyone is awaiting authorization. And indecision is the best way to lose momentum. It's what separates playing to win from playing to avoid losing. Instead of stamping the floor confidently and making it tremble, the Fever appear to be tiptoeing through games at the moment, attempting to avoid stepping on anyone's toes. Take a look at the greats. Pat Summitt had more than one system. She was noticeable. Caitlin isn't having problems with the system. Despite this, Caitlin is surviving. The saddest part is that the strategy was never intended for her to succeed, but she is making it work. Because the magic happens when you let your talent run wild rather than suppressing it. Dynasties are created at that point. At that point, your squad becomes a legend rather than a cautionary tale.